line up together, the captain at 4, explosive opening partnership with Bairstow and Roy. Butler, one of the great players in white ball cricket. And then they left Wood out, who was stuck with Plunkett in the middle overs, and Archer, a bolt from the blue in the last month or so. South Africa made some surprises there, actually. Markram plays, no Miller, no Steyn as well. He's injured. The skipper said that he was about 80%. They play 3 games in 7 days, so they have to hit the ground running hard and get their bowlers fit. Smithy, what did you make of that selection from South Africa?
Yeah, it did surprise me. Interesting move from du Plessis and Otis Gibson. David Miller can be so dangerous in that middle order. In a good 2015 World Cup. Markram, a young up-and-coming batsman with a lot of ability. And one on the test stage, hasn't quite got it right in this format yet, so he'll be hoping to find his feet. Johnny Bairstow, very powerful batting lineup, led by Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy at the top of the order. Power players everywhere.
Well, a bit of a surprise, and Imran Tahir has got a new ball. We think of South Africa and we think of their pace attack and a 10:30 start, and it might nibble around. This might be specifically for Jason Roy. I mentioned about franchise cricket and how all these sides know each other well. There is one weakness to Roy, maybe early on against mystery spin. Bairstow, as we saw in the IPL, is a fantastic player of spin. It's only the 3rd time he's ever opened the bowling in ODI cricket.
Yeah, bold move from du Plessis. He can take wickets early, but he's best man to do that with Jason Roy on strike.
Good on his back to Wilmot, and there's a man on the sweep as well. No, he's actually at cow corner, and he allowed 2 out in this power play. Let the action begin. 2019 Men's Cricket World Cup. Straight away, Jason Roy off the mark. And we might have a buzzer. Now they're going to send Bairstow back. Just clip the bail. Thoughts on Tahir with a new ball?
Well, as you said, Ness, I think it's specifically for Jason Roy. Has struggled up front against spin. Loves the ball just coming on and hitting through the line. So just maybe taking a risk first over, seeing if he can get an early wicket.
South Africa now coached as well by Otis Gibson, who knows the England side inside out. He'll know Jason Roy at times would have walked off, getting out to spin early, got out in the World T20.
That's a sweep that shot, Bairstow. So, yeah, difficult man to sweep off and stump to stump. Looking to use his variations.
You can see the field there, the field clock long on deep mid-wicket. Oh yeah, I think he's got him. You beauty, and he's off. Look at him go, Imran Tahir. Early celebrations in this year's World Cup. And he's pumped and he deserves it with a new ball, Brisbane. And the big wicket of Johnny Bairstow. It's 1 for 1. Who's their first wicket in England? First ball dismissal from Johnny Bairstow. What a jaffer that was.
Spoke about stump to stump, but just a little bit of turn for Tahir. A nervous start from Bairstow, just feeling for a edge mound. What a start for that man. One of the oldest men in this year's World Cup. An outstanding performer for South Africa. 1 for 1 England.
Root comes in at number 3, lots of experience, lots of class, and England are going to need him. What smart thinking from South Africa. All eyes, 10:30 start. Gideon Rabada, no way, it's a bit of Tahir. What a beauty it was as well. Johnny Bairstow would have thought a new ball, first over, it's going to skid on, and it just gripped ICC.
You could argue it's the best batting lineup against the best bowling attack, especially if Steyn becomes fit in the tournament. Got all bases covered. They've got swing and seam and pace and wrist spin. So it'll be a real challenge for England.
Need to be aggressive, South Africa. Du Plessis need to turn to his men at the right times, carry his catches, need to consistently pick up wickets against this England batting lineup. They've started well with the early one. Bairstow. There's that man looking giddy now.
Oh, just gripped. What would you do, skipper Graham Smith? Stick with Tahir?
I think he'll give him one more. He's going to play such an important role through the middle, Tahir, so you don't want to use too many up front. Small wild card, got you the wicket. Particularly if Roy's on strike, probably worth another go. Look at the field, the 2 catches in. Du Plessis now bringing in a catching.
There's a lot of grass on this pitch yesterday. It was noticeable how much grass the groundsman took off today. Just looks a good cricket pitch. What you get here at the Oval is a little bit of tennis ball bounce. It just grips a bit, doesn't skid on, especially if there is that grass on top of it, but it's a good pitch.
10:30 start this time of year. I expect most captains to win the toss and bowl first, especially early on in the competition. Big toss for South Africa. More important for them, I think, to have won the toss and bowl first. England, a very balanced team, bat deep. And Lungi Ngidi hasn't played much of late. It picked up a side strain towards the back end of South Africa's summer. Missed the IPL and really looks fit, looks strong. He's a big man. Just a young man, made a huge impact on the international game already. Partnering with Kagiso Rabada. As we sort of called him, du Plessis and Amla, with JP Duminy in that all-important backward point position. Hayden Markram there as well. So far, very controlled start from South Africa. The disciplines have been good. Tahir, excellent with a new ball. And now Ngidi backing him up. Good lines, good lengths. Who would have been thinking overnight? Rabada's your man. He hasn't even bowled yet, Ness.
Absolutely. The openers would have had some footage of Rabada with the new ball. Rabada, last time they met, got 4 for at Lords against England. Bowled beautifully. Not seen him yet. That is a throw down. That was a dry ball, and Joe Root does not miss out on them.
very full from Giddy. Joe Root's class. He's not going to miss out on that. Off volley like. Punished. Nice feeling that, just to get one away early. Calm the nerves. Everyone in that dressing room would have taken a deep breath.
It's a better length. You're going to be trying to be trimming the bail all the time, especially as these white balls don't swing that much. 7 for 1.
Here is bowl 2. Ngidi to continue from the pavilion end. In the air. There is that tennis ball bounce. Roy likes to hit it on the up. He plays here, Jason Roy. He'll know this surface well. He plays for Surrey. Just sticks in the pitch a fraction.
It does, and he's got hard hands, Jason Roy. You don't often see him drop the ball dead at his feet. He's always coming hard at it, throwing the hands at the ball, create opportunities in that slip cordon, backward point region, gully region. Ngidi's got that natural action. Looks like it's coming back at you all the time, angling it back at you. Just gets the odd one to hold its shape.
Yeah, just like that. The great Courtney Walsh used to do that. He used to lean away, he used to think it's coming in, and just hold its line. Doesn't have to move away a lot, just has to hold its line.
Feels like a big movement for you as a batter with the angle that Ngidi will create. Looks like it's coming straight down at you, back towards the stumps, just holds its shape. Excellent bowling. It's all in that wrist position. Ngidi's a big man, and I don't know if he always finishes his action well. He's got pace, he's got bounce. Just occasionally maybe doesn't get behind the ball. Natural variation in his style. There's a wicket taker.
Pulled away. One drive 4, one short 4. That's the class of Root. Bowl a bad ball, gets dispatched.
Too good from Root. Got a half volley in the previous over, which he didn't miss out on, and now the drag down. Ball races away, even the long boundary there. That side, out to the leg side for Joe Root.
Just short. It's JP Duminy there at backward point, just short of him.
There's that spongy bounce again, Nas. Good area from Ngidi, this forcing Root to come forward with those hard hands. Just holds in the surface. That's where they want to be, South Africa, creating that opportunity. Especially with the new ball. In those areas with the odd short ball, keep the aggression up, keep the intent up.
It's a good comeback after the boundary. 16 for 1. Too much of South Africa or England in that left-hand column. A little bit of England and South Africa in the right-hand column. Tahir it will be again, rolling his wrist spin from the Vauxhall end. And gets it away. Gets it away.
Yeah, it did surprise me that he went the third over du Plessis. I thought he'd go to Rabada now. Element of surprise no longer there. Expect Jason Roy to take this over on. Starts well. It's all in the feet movement there, the ability to give himself the width, generate the power through the offside.
Yeah, that's what Faf du Plessis might have just felt, actually, that Roy was going to go after Tahir, and maybe gave him one more for that reason. But with the drag down the first ball, Roy went, OK, I've had my boundary, over to you, Joe. Another man goes over leg side for Root. Because Root has played a couple of sweeps off the stumps, you can see two men behind square for that. So he goes with the reverse. That's good manoeuvring of the field.
Good work from Pretorius, chasing that down. Not an easy thing to do here at the Oval. Beautiful outfield. Some good energy in the stadium. Everyone on the edge of the seat, start of the game, wondering what will happen. South Africa with the early wicket.
Does he get it through? Yeah, I think he has. Misfield.
Yeah, one of the reasons that stood against Hashim Amla, really struggling in the field of late. Throwing arms gone and almost missed out on this World Cup, Hashim Amla, but found some form before the tournament in the warm-up games. It's an element that people will be watching.
Oh, chipped away right off the toe end of the bat. It was a full toss and it would have been a real death.
Would have been disappointed with that, Joe Root. Full toss on leg stump, almost chipped it straight to Rabada.
Quicker one. That could be the end of the spell for Tahir. 29 for 1. Who have great records in ICC tournaments, down at 9 in the world rankings. I just bring him in now. Could be 3 here. Root's running hard. I'm going to settle with 2. Try and give you some analysis throughout this tournament. Here's Sourav Ganguly.
Thanks, Nas. A different tactic from South Africa, but a good one. Imran Tahir with the new ball. The first one was a leg spinner to Jason Roy. And the one which got the wicket is the wrong one. Didn't turn much, but just held on to his line. And an outside edge from Johnny Bairstow. Good tactics from South Africa. 3 overs from Imran Tahir, and he's probably at the end of his spell.
It's just a case of natural variation, wasn't he? The one on the right there, he wasn't trying to turn, probably maybe more top spinner. And it actually spun slightly, just natural variation.
Yeah, also slower through the air. The first one a little bit flatter. That's what he does, Tahir. Very much stump to stump, looking to use his variations. The last while has been outstanding spinners in the game. His record is brilliant.
Gone fine. Modern way of fine leg being wide just opens up that area.
Du Plessis trying to cover all bases. The big boundary out to the leg side. Too straight from Ngidi, and England are starting to get something going here.
Bouncer of the tournament. Umpires look at each other and call a wide. Let's have a look at that wicket again. There he goes. Not bad for an Oldham.
Yeah, he's one of the great celebrators in this World Cup. I'm sure we're going to see lots of styles and moments to remember.
I love the way he ran backwards there as well at pace. He's got it all the tricks. It is a slightly ageing side, this South African side. It will be the World Cup for a few of them, so just keep an eye on the fielding. It's going to be an important part of the tournament. In the air again, maybe Faf should think about a slip and a gully now. Du Plessis, 2 slips, maybe with the ones that have been squirting away. Go to 1 and 1.
Yeah, always that debate as a captain. You have your 2 catches in at slip early on. Should you be carrying a 3rd one at gully? I've seen 2 go down in that area from Jason Roy now. See hands way in front of his body. Hard hands we discussed. Always looking to come at the ball, Jason Roy.
Sticks with 2 slips, so he's more concerned with the outside edge. Duminy is quite close at backward point. Driven again, not timed, but the outfield is reasonably quick. It wasn't like the crisp drive he played earlier. Just take 2. 39 for 1. Recovering from that early blow in the first over, Jonny Bairstow, first ball of his World Cup, nicked off to de Kock, off Tahir. Now one very impressive young man, Kagiso Rabada, ranked 5th in the world. Very fine fast bowler. Punch down the ground. Again, yeah, it's a bit quicker in this direction. That will be 4.
Yeah, just a push. Maybe 2, but enough timing on it from Roy. He's now progressing well. He's moved to 21 of just 14 deliveries. After the early loss, this pair starting to build some momentum for England. They're a super attacking batting lineup. Progressing well. Good run rates, just under 7.
High hands from Jason Roy. And again, strengths and weaknesses. We've seen some go in the gully because he punches on the up, but then you bowl a similar length, and if it's straight, those high hands are wonderful to watch. It's not a bad delivery. First up, length. Look at that for reach and hands.
Quite a big lunge. Rabada maybe looking at that replay, might get one upstairs now. Does look for wickets, Rabada. Attacking mindset.
Have a look at the pitch. Today the heavy roller was on it. There's quite a bit of grass on it yesterday. This morning they brushed it and took the grass off.
I actually think South Africa were considering playing two spinners today. I think Shamsi was definitely in the lineup. I think that little bit of green tinge is the reason they went Pretorius. They went for the extra all-rounder. It does lengthen their batting lineup slightly. It's a challenge for South Africa. Just the 6 frontline batters and then into the all-rounder. No depth like we see in the England lineup. Kumar Dharmasena, 96th ODI for the Sri Lankan. Very experienced umpire. He's joined by Bruce Oxenford, also in the 90s.
Up in the air, just landing. That was a loose shot from Jason Roy. Neither one nor t'other, really.
Roy's the type of player that if you can just build a couple of deliveries on him, he's going to look to do something. He needs to feel the boundaries coming. He needs those boundaries to stay in the game. A couple of dot balls and you'll feel like there's an opportunity round the corner.
Very good start from Rabada, 43 for 1.
And 42 from 41 deliveries. Jason Roy and Joe Root have been the two. Ngidi will continue into his 4th over. 0 for 21 for him. Almost seeming to struggle just a touch. Might be the fact that there's a little rise before you bowl a delivery here at the Oval. Just takes some getting used to. That's a good delivery. He's normally so consistent as Ngidi. It's been a real strength of his. And when he isn't consistent, he hits back of a length. Just gets the ball to nip either way.
Cross-seam delivery from Ngidi, and that's what you need on the oval pitch. It's not a wicket that you can really run in and hit the deck with the seam straight up every ball. You've got to use the natural variation in it, especially when you're bowling first up. But what a start it was for South Africa. Great tactical nows from Faf du Plessis.
Oh, and then goes for the variation, the slower delivery. England keen to get back for the second. Stunker, you played a lot of cricket here at the end of your career for Surrey. What is your take on the surface? Looks pretty good.
It is a very good surface. It just starts off a bit slow with a half-tense start. It's a bit spongy. The ball doesn't really come onto the bat, and you've seen both batsmen, their contact points have been well in front of their body. Joe Root slightly later than Jason Roy, but that's what you can what can get you into trouble. But both batsmen have settled in nicely. I mean, what tactical brilliance from South Africa to start off with Imran Tahir. Everyone expected early start, a little bit of grass on the pitch. The weather's not been great yesterday here at the Oval. There's a bit of rain around, and they opened with spin. Took the batsman by surprise, took us by surprise.
Beautifully played by Jason Roy. Just stands up. There's been a field change. The man's moved in to short cover, and it's hit with such power that it just takes it through the infield.
It's a very good field. Jason Roy's been really hitting the ball well out in front of the body. The moment the ball kind of holds in the surface, there's a catching opportunity for Shoreditch to recover. But this is also Jason Roy's strength, to be able to stand tall and punch through the line of the ball. He knows the Oval a lot better than I do. He's played here for longer. It's really good to watch him when he's in form.
It was a slow ball from Ngidi to Root that was effective. He tried it again to Jason Roy, not as effective. And there's a little bit of width. Good parry by Dermody at backward point.
Sometimes here at the Oval, the slow ball can work later on in an innings. Earlier, it can just be a little bit too slow off the surface and allow batsmen the time to adjust. Were you a bit surprised, Paulie, that Tahir got that extra over? I would have liked him to have been stopped at the second over mark. Hagisa Rabada, a newer ball to bowl with.
I think they were searching for Roy. They wanted the wicket of Roy. They were going to give Tahir another chance to try and nab them a second one. That's straight to cover. We've got some analysis by Mark Atherton.
Yeah, Kumar Sangakkara was just talking about Jason Roy's eagerness to get at the ball. And we've seen two examples where he's tried to play a drive to balls not quite there to drive. Two slips, of course, could have gone 1 and 1, and had there been a gully in place, then Jason Roy might have been caught on 2 occasions. So I think teams will look at that with Jason Roy. But just contrast with the first boundary from Joe Root. It was a bit fuller, and he got that beautiful bend of the knee and weight into the drive.
You used to love that bend of the knee cover drive, didn't you, Ath? Yeah, he comes harder, it does Jason Roy. Of that, there's no doubt. That's Farn's cover again. So 6 runs from the over, 49 for 1. That's the competition format for this Cricket World Cup. 9 matches each, 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw or abandoned. What's your take on the format? I think it's quite fair. I think it's probably the best one, where you get to play everyone and the top 4 teams go through.
I played in World Cups where we had a quarter-finals as well. Just kind of heightens the excitement, but this format rewards the most consistent sides. The best sides throughout the round-robin stage actually go through to the playoffs, a semi-final each, and then the finals. I actually like it. I think it's one of the fairest systems that you can have.
A nasty run. They'll be picking out their fielders, will England. They'll know exactly who's got a weakish arm. They'll be knowing where Hashim Amla and Imran Tahir are. Picks up the 50 for England after 8.2 overs.
That's a dead start for England, isn't it? In relative terms to what they've been doing over the last year and a half. Usually by this stage they're somewhere in the 60s and the 70s. But the loss of that early wicket, it is a World Cup, the opening game. Everyone is mindful of that. You can try and forget it, but you can't escape it.
After 4 overs, I thought, oh, good decision, bowl first, and we've taken the initiative, but England have wrestled it back nicely. We're pretty happy with 50 for 1. I haven't seen that much movement. I've seen the odd ball just misbehave a touch. I think this is a belter of a wicket, and the sun's going to bake on it for most of the day. And South Africa come out again. They'll have a roll of the surface before they have their turn to try and chase down the score. So I think it should be a really good surface for the rest of the day.
Beautiful ground, this, the Oval. It's a great place for teams to come and play. Everyone enjoys a day out here. The short ball beautifully over the bounce. Joe Root, and that's another boundary. He's looked excellent right from the start. His footwork has been precise, his commitment has been good, and nothing seems to have surprised him after the fall of that early wicket.
Yes, brings up the 50 partnership between the two. Rushed onto him, hit a bit of the splice of the bat, but the square here at the Oval is massive. So the ball runs along that for a period of time. Ngidi got the foot there, hit him on the heel, and just popped it over the advertising cushion. Good bit of bounce. South Africa may be a touch short with regards to the length. I want to venture up a touch fuller consistently. Here's the field that du Plessis has got. You'll see them moving in that graphic. It's monitoring, it's real time. Here the bowler runs into bowl. Another well-run single, picking out Imran Tahir again. Good awareness from the English. 55 for 1 after 9. Everything's calmed down. Now it's just back to normal. Customer is Pretorius. He'll get the ball to just bounce nicely. 30 years of age. Hovers around about 130 kilometers per hour. And I think with 2 men set, England could earmark this as an opportunity to put South Africa under some severe pressure.
123 kilometers per hour. It's not the quickest by far. Quite a big change in pace, a drop after facing Ngidi and Rabada. But it takes, I think captaincy is going to be so vital in this particular World Cup. The ability to do things different tactically, to have your kind of matchups done really well, team selection. And I thought that's why the move to bring in Tahir was such an excellent move, of course, and over too many perhaps. But if you're an opening batsman playing here at the Oval in England, 2 new balls, you would have spent the night kind of preparing to face the fast bowlers first up. I mean, that's what we would have predicted up here. It would have been the logical thing to do. Faf du Plessis taking advantage of maybe a bit of dampness in the pitch. If it can seem, if it's a bit soft, that can be turned as well.
On the field plot, you can see that Hashim Amla has gone into short mid-wicket. He's come out of the slip cordon.
Talking about setting the tone early up with the fast bowlers. This is Ngidi. Not exactly as close a cluster that you would want with the new ball, Polly. You were excellent at actually just honing in on a line and length. Just a bit too wide. And the height, the trajectory, just kind of playing into the areas that Jason Roy and Joe Root both like to score from.
Use of the feet. I did get the feeling that Jason Roy was standing at the non-striker's end going, get me down there. I'm keen to have a go. Just a little bit of movement. But yeah, on your point of Ngidi, I think just not as consistent as we've seen from him. Pretorius was another cross-seam delivery, but it's the second time today we've actually seen the cross-seam delivery still shape away from the right-hander. That's why I think Ngidi may be just struggling with bowling here at the Oval. There's a slight little hump as you get into the delivery stride, and can take some getting used to if you've never played here before. I've got a bit of delay in play. There's one of the cameras that I think with the sunshine is reflecting off it and causing a bit of a glare for Jason Roy. It's always good signs though if you're in England and the sun's out and it's causing a problem. I'd rather have that than the rain. Pulled fine, just a single down to fine leg. As a bottom order batsman, we often used to think, oh, get me on strike now. You top order guys, you still play that same way, or is just see ball, play ball?
Well, it depends who's bowling on the other end, Polly. If it's really quick and you're playing a test match, rather than the non-strikers end, you don't think about the strike too much. But in one-day cricket, I think, especially with the rule changers and a lot of sides, one of the biggest advantages just England have kind of manufactured or brought into the game is to be able to attack bowlers like Pretorius at different stages of the game. Pick a bowler that they want to put under pressure and really attack him hard. The end of the 10th over, 64.